This podcast is not rated. Listener discretion advised.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching the best movies ever made, according to IMDb. You can go to our website, mission250filmcast.com, where the list is frozen and all of the upcoming episodes can be seen from there as well. I'm one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are
John
and TC.
And this week, we are watching number 126 on the list, which is the 1954 movie On the Waterfront, directed by Elia Kazan, starring Marlon Brando, Lee J. Cobb, and the largest nose to ever grace the face of a man in movie history.
Hey, could have been a contender.
You know, not popping out, John? You don't know who I'm talking about?
Muldoon or whatever, Carl Malden.
The priest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
bulb.
Nose?
He's got a potato stuck to the front of his face.
A bulbous nose.
Yes.
You're a nosist? I didn't know you were a nosist.
Oh, he's a nosist.
I'm a nosist. Yeah, you didn't know that about me? Jeez, John, I thought we were friends.
You nosism?
Sorry, sir, you're 2 inches too big on the nose.
I mean, my nose is quite large, I'll have you know. I don't know if you really, maybe it's nice, but then maybe you just trot me out as one of your, well, see, I got big-nosed friends. See, it's okay.
He tries to fit in with the nose people.
Yeah.
With John the Nose.
No,
Got
you see,
it.
I'm not so much of a size or a shape thing. I'm more of a symmetrical thing. So if you got like a weird lopsided schnoz on you, then
if
it's no
you're
good.
going to the
I
left,
got the lopsided too.
It's no good. Yeah,
It's like that
right.
guy took a big grape and shoved it in one of his nostrils and just left it in there.
Grape nostril.
Yeah.
All right.
Gosh,
Yeah.
you noses get so graphic.
Yeah.
Man, I bet it was pretty
Interesting.
rough during the turf wars between we hate the big nose people versus we hate the crooked nose people.
If he gets punched in the nose, the grape pops and everyone thinks it's bleeding, but he's just
Y'all
grape
can
juice.
agree if it's
just
big
grapes.
and crooked, it's just bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then y'all get together and hate on that, but yeah.
You have to him and ask him, hey, do you breathe better? What's
I
going
can't
on?
breathe at all. I got a grape in my nose.
Normal nose. I'm having trouble breathing. What about you? You got a big nose. Pretty
I
good?
thought he was great though. I
Yeah,
like Carl.
yeah. We're going to start talking
he's good.
seriously about this now?
Oh,
No,
wait.
sure.
There's a movie?
Oh, wow.
I thought we were just riffing.
No, I
Yeah.
just took your nose's slurs as actual fact these
Them's
days.
fight
Yeah.
words. I'm
I'm
going to start each episode now just picking a fight with one of you two. Whoever wants
All
to
right.
pick up the slack, I'll just aim
great.
insults generally in a
See.
direction, and one of you can stand behind them.
That's
Take
good.
that big nose.
That's what they want. Conflict.
Yes. It's more entertaining that way.
Conflict and then resolution.
Yeah.
But the synopsis of this movie is an ex-prize fighter turned longshoreman struggles to stand up to his corrupt union bosses. And this week it's my turn to go first.
Good.
Yeah. And I feel like I want to, can I pass my turn along? Is that possible?
No.
You wanna pass?
No.
Yeah, because
You can just go short.
I'll go short and then I'll talk about it more
short.
afterwards because I don't want to go off on this one.
Go short and sweet, like your favorite type of nose. You know?
Like a nose should be.
Like a nose
that
should
God
be. Just stay
intended.
relatively short and sweet, like the nose.
Unlike noses, I like my opinions with grapes shoved in them.
He breathes better with the grapes. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, he's really
Wait, didn't
Really
Marlon-
hell-bent
was-
on the big nose
why
and
did-
grapes
But Marlon
thing.
Brando didn't use grapes in The Godfather. What did he put in his mouth for that? That was in his
Orange
mouth, though.
slice.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
what
a
did he
different
put in
thing.
his
Was it orange
eyelids?
slice?
Jesus. Something.
I'm lost. But this movie, let's talk about this movie for a little bit, guys. Then we can get back to the grapes and the oranges.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how to describe this movie. I want to pass it along because I didn't find it extremely entertaining. It was kind of really man, I feel bad talking about this. I don't know.
Why?
It seems bland. Like everything was like unremarkable kind of. Some of the acting was very realistic, which was, revolutionary for the time, which is really cool because we've watched a lot of the movies that came before this, and that kind of acting is annoying and needed to die. And I'm glad it did, with Marlon Brando in like the early 50s with this movie and like Streetcar Named Desire and stuff like that. But the plot, I didn't really care about. I didn't hate the bad guy too much because he seemed cartoonish, even though he was like trying to be realistic. Marlon Brando was kind of a dumb asshole. So I didn't follow his
That was
arc.
kind of the point. That he wasn't the dashing, quick-talking leading man,
Yeah, but I don't know, you're supposed to like feel for the relationship with the female, and I didn't like the female either because she was always just like against what she wanted to do, and she was just fighting with herself, it seemed, the entire time. I'm just like, just fucking do it
Penny.
or something. Just stop doing things. And then it culminates with like one of the scenes that I really didn't like where he breaks into her house kicks the door down, and then forces himself on her.
on the female.
I mean, it seems like that worked a lot.
No, it did.
Oh,
And I wrote that.
movies.
Just look at this. Look at how stupid females are. They don't even know what they want. They want you to break into their house.
Yeah,
in the middle of the
that's
night.
what they would lead you to believe back then. Is they were so dumb that you just fucking go for it.
Yeah, and she was screaming no and running away, and he grabbed her. And then
that's no big deal. Apparently. Yeah.
So that, like all that, I was like, this is supposed to be the thing. Like, I don't even know what kind of woman this is, or what kind of guy would do this. You know, like. Is this what you're supposed to like?
Supposed to do back then.
Now, I mean, we've seen it as often as the fling and cry.
But dude, no one's broken into some woman's house who lives by herself, like by kicking the lock out of the door.
Well, no, there's that, yeah. But I mean, the throw her up against the wall and forcibly kiss her, and then she melts.
But that, I mean,
that's all set. What do you mean? That's what they all want, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it happened in Rocky.
Back in the fucking Hollywood, back in that time, that's exactly what they thought.
And then what does that breed? What was the world like back then? Were there just a bunch of dudes just like shoving women against walls, making
grabbing their ass at work? They're doing whatever the fuck they want to do back then. It's brutal.
Yeah. So I mean, that part probably shouldn't have I don't know. This movie is mostly about the relationship between him and this girl, even though there's a lot of like other main plot points. So I think that the fact that every scene where they're supposed to be falling in love, the music was annoyingly swelling with like strings and flutes. And then that it culminates to like that scene, which I really
like the drums at first. There was a lot of some good drums going on. I like that.
Yeah.
But
and I this is turning out longer than I thought. But I mean, to be on the positive side.
Yeah, you're more of a priest's nose here than
I know.
Short and sweet, you know.
It's been in there so long, it's a raisin now.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a religious kind of thing either, too. You're bringing religious in there, too.
Right.
Anyway.
Exactly. Well, God is all-encompassing, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. He's down on the docks. He's down on the hole. Jesus Christ.
He's down on the docks. He's hit the door when you're bearing down the door and you're fucking kissing
Jesus
people.
Christ,
He's
down in the hole. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's here. He's there to stay, and that's all there is to it. He's God.
Were you clapping for my hoedown, John?
I was clapping for the hoedown.
Jesus Christ, he's down in the hole. Yes, he is.
Hey.
Yes, he is.
And he's got a big nose, and he's got a big nose. And
It's
he's got
really
a big
early on in
nose.
the podcast to have devolved like this.
Oh, it's too bad.
No, it's the best. What are you
It's
talking
too
about?
bad.
Front load the devolve.
But I sound negative, and I'll talk more after you guys. But I did really like the acting. It's very easy to see how, like, especially compared to watching a bunch of old movies, how much acting is much more like this movie than it is like older movies than this, or even movies like that came out around this period of time. They don't seem like they're on stages, and they weren't, which probably helped a lot. But I mean, it doesn't seem like one person waiting for another person to say a line. Like there was a lot more emotion behind it and stuff like that. And that stuff holds up really well.
Right. And there's a bit more realism in even like, you know, like I can think of like the Maltese Falcon or whatever, where I thought those characters were really likable. It still felt like you were watching a play of sorts where people were really smart, wise, cracking.
Yeah.
Even like if it was a down to earth kind of guy or whatever, the people were just really sharp and talking, you know, like very trained.
It's like an episode of the Gilmore Girls. It's like the other person's already talking to respond before the first person's done. No one talks like that. You don't have time to respond.
I don't
you
know.
really referenced the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, it's a staple in our household.
Is that
I'm a little stunned.
Is that's where you went with that, huh? Was it, okay.
Whenever I think of dialogue that's too fast, it's Gilmore Girls.
Look, Denny, when you pick something that me and John have no idea about, you're definitely going to win.
Hey,
so it's a good tactic.
Guys, we just said
Denny. Denny, you're right.
We said about Gilmore Girls. We're comparing On the Waterfront to the Gilmore Girls. That's never happened before.
Okay.
Oh, man, have you ever seen something like Scrubs where they're just walking down the thing and they're just talking? It's unbelievable.
Hey, Scrubs, I love. I can relate to Scrubs.
You love the Scrub is love.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Scrub is love.
Hey, it's such a great one of the best like
comedy shows that cuts to jokes. Hospital.
Yeah, but also just some great moments. They had the guy from Men at Work singing the Overkill song. Just like wandering
this is going way further.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I have no idea.
It was really good. So
can we get back to the Gilmore Girls? I mean, I don't know.
We got to dig ourselves out of the hole before we can get out. We got to go backwards. And I thought and there's some stuff after reading about it. John mentioned something about this before we started recording that I think you might have looked up a little bit on the blacklisting. Did you look it up, John?
Oh yeah. A little bit.
We're gonna have to talk about that because
it
really affects how you feel about this movie and the director.
Yeah.
Especially because of what the entire movie's message is, and like knowing the hidden meaning behind the message really skews the. You can't. I don't know. We can talk about it, but yeah. That's it. That's it for me. What do you guys think?
I mean, you can imagine what I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
What?
I remember watching this movie in class, And I'm pretty sure I exited and went out and smoked weed for like a half hour.
Nice.
And
Was that unusual?
Just like, hey, so what the fuck? Where'd you go? And I was like, I wasn't feeling good. You know, like I am not sitting here watching this fucking movie right now. I don't care about this movie one way or the other. I'd say that I liked it more than I did the first time I watched it in class.
That's because we watched a bunch of really crappy movies on this podcast.
So like we're watching these such old movies that I'm getting like my threshold for like dealing with it is better. So I mean, I love a good longshoreman, you know? What the fuck?
Nothing against the longshoreman whatsoever.
Hey, you know, longshoreman, what are you going to do? You know, it's a tough job. He's out there trying to feed his family. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Brando's all right. I get, there's
teeth. I can hear the teeth coming out.
I just don't care about this movie. And I know that it's very well regarded. So I feel like for me, as we all know, if you listen, that I just spite that kind of shit for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So I can't like this movie even if I did like this movie because it's so fucking annoying.
Anything that's likable can't be liked by teachers.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's just some moments too that were just over the top, like that moment where he's walking up to the thing, he's all blurry-eyed. All right, boys, let's go. And as soon as he gets to the fucking line, come on. They're all going to sit there waiting in line like perfectly. Oh, he's going to make it. Oh, shit, look at him. He's almost to the line. All right, we can all work now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. What did that guy give you, really, guys?
And how is that winning? Because, I mean, I guess the point is they're supposed to be listening to, or they're following Marlon Brando's character, but Marlon Brando's not going to pay them.
Well, right. Who's cutting the check?
Yeah. So I didn't understand that as any type of victory whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that my favorite part of the movie is probably when the old guy pushed the Italian dude in the water.
Yeah.
And everyone laughed. I was like, now that's funny. That right there is good stuff. I don't have any takeaways from this one other than the fact that I'm amazed that I made it through yet another sitting of this.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that it's going to be the last time I ever have to watch it. Not because it's horrible. I don't know. It just doesn't resonate with me as always with these old ones.
Yeah.
But at least I made it through. I guess that's something.
That's something. It's always a little impressive.
Yeah, well, you stayed awake, you're saying. Oh, shit. Fucking mark it down in the books.
That's pretty much
Johnny,
a 10 out
we
of
got
10.
a new guy. We got a new guy here. Let him work, huh? Yeah, I don't know.
John, tell me you loved it, John.
What?
Tell me you loved it.
Oh, Denny, I loved it.
Oh, did you now? I believe
it's
you.
not even somewhat believable there. Oh, Denny, just hold on a second while I tell you how much I loved it. I put this movie right next to
I'm
Hachi.
sorry.
You know,
I always
fantastic.
hate it when you make me say things like that, Denny. Man, you're just so insecure. And
I just want to put words in your mouth because I know how much it
yes,
irritates
Denny,
you.
it was good for me.
Denny.
It was good for me, Denny. Now, come on, let's go to bed.
I promise it was good for me. Don't break the door down and kiss
I'm
me
not
again.
upset.
Don't do it again. Oh, I swear I liked it.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever. Really, you should look up Colin Hay Overkill from Scrubs. Great video. Just watch the video.
I love Colin Hay. What are you talking about? Colin Hay's great.
He's amazing. He just did this. He
was
did
in
this
Garden
sort of
State,
cameo
too.
in Scrubs and just sang one of his Men at Work songs, and it's really beautifully done.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, that's far more entertaining. I completely agree with you guys. I think Denny, you summed it up really well. I just was not engaged in this film, and the themes are interesting. I like the idea. Of somebody, the Brando's character trying to be somebody, trying to, he have his own brother turning against him. All of this stuff is, on paper at least, pretty interesting. It's just somehow, I felt I just was really detached from the film. And I felt bad about it because I also agree with everything you said.
I also
Denny,
feel
too.
bad. Yep.
I love when John feels bad. Like
Yeah,
the
me
movie
too.
made him feel bad. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah,
That's
he had
good. You
feelings over
accomplished
an
something
inanimate
there.
object, and that we shouldn't even care about liking or
Right.
not liking.
This is one of those films I wanted to like. It's like, oh yeah, it's
Well, because we're told
Brando,
we
it's-
have to like it.
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
also it's got a good mystique about it. I don't know. It's a good story. This idea of somebody trying to stand up to the mob and all of this
Right.
sort of, and sort of a more kind of American roots kind of story. Not about rich people doing leading their rich lives or whatever. So it's kind of a bummer, but I do agree for whatever reason, whether it's just not aged well or what, I don't know. But I just watch it and I don't care. And I think another point you hit on, Danny, too, is the love interest just seems strange. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem to work very well. And Brando, he just seems kind of like he's kind of winding his way through the film. Now, again, that's what was so good about. I mean, like,
I don't want to go do that. No, Joey, Johnny, I'm not gonna do it.
Charlie, don't shoot me. Come on.
Charlie, I don't want to go to the place. You're gonna kill me. Now that's funny. Now I've got a whole new take on this.
Time to rewatch it.
Time to rewatch it and just do the voice the whole time.
yeah.
Oh, you ever seen this nose? It's big.
This is the scene where he doesn't want to tell on his mom.
He doesn't want to do it anymore. John, now you started a whole thing now.
You guys bring it to life a lot better.
That's good. That's good.
That's really good.
I mean, because it's true, right? When he's in the thing and the kid kills all the pigeons. By the way, psycho kid, what the fuck?
Yeah. Was it the kid that killed all the pigeons?
What do you do that to the pig? What do you have to do that for? What do you do that for? There's hawks all over the place. Anyway.
Was it the kid that killed those pigeons?
Yeah,
the
kid killed them all.
Yeah,
No, kid killed them all.
Broke all their necks.
Kid's a weirdo.
That's fucking weird.
One step away. Yeah. Killing them all? How about you let him go?
Yeah,
How about you let him
for a
go?
second that the mob came and killed the pigeons as like a threat, and the kid found it. But then I was like, but then why would the kid pick up a pigeon and throw it at Brando? That seems a little
he was pissed at Brando.
Well, the kid could have been mad too, and maybe, well, if it's the mob that did it, then the kid's mad about the pigeons, mad about what Brando did, just mad about everything and upset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he just throws the pigeon in anger, as you do.
As you do.
As you would.
Of
As
course.
you would.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Of course. What was I thinking?
That looked like a real dead pigeon too, by the way.
I think it might have been.
It may very well have been.
Yeah. Probably no laws back then, just strangling a pigeon to death on set.
I don't want to shoot the scene again. Kills the pigeon.
It was in my life.
All right, Brando, take that energy. Use it.
Yeah. But he's dead, though. I don't want to.
Exactly, Brando. That's exactly right. Use it.
Don't make me bring Big Nose in again.
We're almost out of grapes, though.
I don't want to be here anymore. That's good.
But that was something that distinguished him because, again, the other leading men would be super articulate, very deep voiced, and in fact would be trained to speak in a very deep, commanding way. And for him to not do any of that was complete, a game changer sort of for the way a lot of actors approached movies from then on, and made them more realistic. So,
and not only the way he acted, but like the way he portrayed, I guess. Like people were saying, there was a commentary track where they were like, the way he expressed his emotions it was kind of like a little feminine, especially like against the other men. So it wasn't just like the words he was saying or anything, but like the way he acted and the way he seemed affected, and like he was about to cry all the time, like made him seem more emotionally raw. But I think it might just be his face. I think he might just look like that.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just the eyebrow. He's got this eyebrow kind of like.
He's always just trying to hold in a shit.
Thing.
He's just always holding in a shit.
And he's real
just
sad
holding it
about
in.
it.
He's like, oh man, this is going to be brutal.
And like when he takes the shit, someone's going to kill a puppy. So he's sad about the puppy dying.
I don't want to wipe my ass.
That's right. If you were logging into this podcast to listen to smart people talking about good movies,
then you're
you are
definitely
wrong.
in the wrong
It's
place.
over. It's over.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's not
funny.
about killing a dead puppy. He's just worried about touching poo-poo day.
That's right. That's right. It's very.
Fair.
That's all.
Fair
It's
fear.
really
It's very
simple.
fragile.
I don't know if I have a lot more on this.
I have nothing on this.
Yeah.
I did like the bar scene sort of more. I thought
Really?
those at least stood out as I know that the bad guy was kind of larger than life cartoon, but I did like those scenes where he's in there with all his boys and things are happening.
Yeah, and they're just talking
I thought
shit.
I just thought those were more lively. But yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't entirely clear a lot of the time when he was like, there was a bunch of money on the table. The guy came in, they threw him out, and they're just like, wait a minute, who counted that guy's money? How is it not somebody else's fault? I guess we're just supposed to take him at face value for doing that. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's the point of the scene. He's going to get smacked around, thrown out.
Yeah. The smacking was new too. If you care about new things in movies.
Oh, what?
Actually-
There had been no smacking before?
No, they used to do like a lot of fake stuff in movies.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is supposed to.
Oh, and
take
he
it from-
slapped his face or whatever.
Yeah,
back
he
and
like
forth?
pinched his cheek and then smacked
Yeah.
him right in the face.
Oh wait, this is like real smacking.
Real smacking.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now they do it all the time. So I don't know.
Right, but before then you wouldn't dream of doing a real smack.
No, you wouldn't actually smack somebody.
Not unless
Nice.
you were a
Right.
male and that other person you're smacking is a female, in
Right,
which
well,
case
that
it's
goes
perfectly
without
fine.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Of course. I
Right.
mean, you
Right,
know,
what's up?
sometimes you got to do that before you throw them up against the wall
And make out,
Because-
right?
Well,
Yep.
yeah, but sometimes you got to like snap out of it, you know, and then you force yourself on them.
Right. Yep.
Sometimes they're
yep.
so hysterical that you can't push
You
them
just-
up against the wall and have your way. You
gotta
like,
wait.
stun them first.
And if you don't have a flashbang grenade, you got to use your own hand over here.
Oh
Bam.
God, isn't that the worst?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We're making fun of this because it's bad. And like I listen
Oh,
to
we're
a
making
lot
fun of it because it's ridiculous. Like it happens in these
Just
old
wanna
movies
get that
so
out
much.
there. We are making fun of this because it's bad.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Let's just make that very,
In
very
case-
clear.
this isn't- in
Funny
case
because it's
you don't-
true. This is funny
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's fucking disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody talked. Like in the commentary, I saw something Martin Scorsese was talking about this movie. Nobody mentioned how that was the case. So that's
Oh,
stupid.
how that scene was awkward?
Yeah. There was a scene in this movie that everybody, all three people, separate commentaries, agreed that was the worst part of the movie. Would you guys know what part that was? I was surprised kind of that they all agreed with it
Really?
separately, but
Let's see. Worst part of the movie entirely.
worst part of the movie entirely. And it's like one scene, and it's kind
Is it
of
now?
different than other scenes in some ways.
That's
Is
the
it the-
musical number.
Is it the car scene?
Not the car scene.
Okay,
Car scene's the
Charlie.
best part of the movie, TC.
Could have been a contender, Charlie.
You were my
Yeah,
brother,
that's-
Charlie.
You were my brother, Charlie.
Why you have to go and try to shoot me?
Why do you have to do that, boy? I want to be in The Godfather someday. Oh, yeah. I don't know, Denny. What is it?
No, you know that it's John. Any guesses? No, before I say it.
I don't think so.
No, it's the scene where he's when they're in the courthouse against like the Bob Mosses, the Bob Moss.
Oh, right,
Bob
right.
Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Ross.
Which
Okay.
that was kind of a strange court proceeding. It's like, I don't know, like they did the roll call and they're like, yeah, is that how court
Yeah,
works?
right.
Like,
I don't
yeah,
think so.
You've done enough to put them away. Good job.
That's the mob boss. That's his fucking lackey. That's the other asshole. All right, you all can be seated now. And then also, what the fuck is it like? Oh, you go up and talk against these people, and then you got to go sit next to them after? Come on.
Yeah, not a
Get
lot of
outta
room in
here.
courthouses back then.
You're
Okay.
strangling your neck before you even sit down.
Do you think they'd reserve space for the criminals and not like let the crowd in first and then find space afterwards and like group all the criminals so they're sitting on top of each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
doesn't seem,
seems
a good way to do it.
like a dumb move
Yeah.
to me, but that's just me, though. What do I know?
I got some questions on the plot here, guys. If you want to see if you
All
can
right,
humor
let's
me a
hear
bit.
it.
Right?
Yep,
I'm not sure we're going to
yep.
be of any help for you. But
Did you guys have any guesses on what color his jacket was in the movie?
I was thinking red and black.
Yeah, I was thinking red and black too.
Yeah.
Why? It's a black and white movie.
Because it's the normal flannel.
But that's the flannel checker that you have.
Yeah,
But there's a lot
that's
of
the
green and
flannel
black
color.
flannel too in that same
Yeah,
pattern.
nowadays,
but-
I think back in the day, it was lumberjack and no lumberjack. That's it.
Okay. Maybe that's
Brawny
why.
man and no brawny man.
Yeah, because me and Naomi were sitting there like, why do I think that's red? And she's like, I think it's red
It
too.
is
It's
red.
weird.
What did you think it was?
Red.
Or no, what was it? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
I bet you it's red.
They had.
I feel like red would be contrasting too, and it would stick out well in the film. I don't know why, because it's like a bright color. So it's almost like white.
color. I'm looking at
I don't
behind
know.
the scenes color
I guess
images
it could
here.
be blue.
Everything's
I don't know.
black and white.
I'm seeing a red and there's one color image.
Is there?
Do you think maybe someone just colored it red because
And
we all
maybe,
finished
well,
the thoughts
yeah,
the same
maybe.
way?
It's
right?
black and red checkered.
Yeah, I think so too. That's like the.
Do you think
old
that's
style.
real? I do. I'm seeing what you're looking at. Is that real? That colored.
Hey,
picture?
look! As long as they finish the thought for us, we're done. It's red.
Yeah.
So as far
Okay.
as I'm concerned, it's red.
At the very
Yeah.
least, it
Fair
tricks
enough.
your brain into thinking it's red.
Right. That's it.
What was the deal with the church scene when like everyone was outside banging sticks and then everyone split up in twos and ran away and then
Yeah.
some
What
people
was
got
that
away
about?
and some people got beat up?
Scaring them? What was that?
Yeah, I guess so. I just confused because I thought they were just going to, why not let the plant do his work and just see where it goes? If what you're going to do is put a mole in there and see what happens next, why go in and scare everybody then?
Yeah, and they got mad at him for going there anyway, right? Because he didn't
I
have.
thought he
anything to
was there
report.
on purpose to
He
watch
was.
a fucking.
Yeah, but then he didn't report anything, and they didn't believe him. But they didn't have a chance to talk because the rest of them fucking broke it up. Is John thinking, or is John just?
Well,
ignoring the
John
question?
was looking at the Arrow catalog.
Ooh, Arrow catalog. What's that?
Yeah. See.
Something
apparently
totally unrelated to the
Yeah.
movie.
No. It's an apparel company.
Oh, this is our
And
sponsor for the week.
They had an Arrow Waterfront, which was a film jacket. And it said a limited number of Arrow waterfronts are available.
What are you saying?
These are called Arrow. The company's Arrow, and they make waterfront jackets, which are inspired by Marlon Brando's jacket. And it says, for many years, we've been making the Waterfront reproduction of the 1950s buffalo checked work jacket worn by Brando on the waterfront. Like everyone else, we believe Brando's jacket was green and black until some rare colored footage was discovered last year showing the film jacket was, in fact, red and black.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, 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 ding.
That's crazy.
I want one. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that's a pretty good jacket. I'd look good in that jacket.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice the rip when he moved one time and it was just ripped over on the side?
No.
Oh, I saw it. I was like, I don't think that was on purpose.
Was it on his sleeve or was it on the back?
No, it was on his right where his armpit was on the side.
Oh.
I feel like it ripped in during the shoot.
Probably.
It didn't like I understand like it's supposed to be a tough bastard. You know, you're on the shore. You know, it's cold. You know, and they all have like no
And they have
money.
the hooks that just rest on
I
their
think
shoulders.
it must have worked, but like at the same time, it looked like they just had a costume mishap.
Yeah, definitely possible. How did he get injured that one time when he was at the bar with a gun, waiting for the mob boss to come back? He had
His
like
arm
a
was
cut.
all bloody.
Oh,
Yeah.
from cutting through the window when he tried to get her out of the way of the truck. That's when he
there
cut
you
his
go.
arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
thank
call,
you for
TC.
that.
Yeah.
'Cause I was
But
like,
it
I don't
didn't-
remember.
I remember thinking to myself, it didn't cut it that bad.
Yeah.
His arm went right through. It didn't even like they didn't show it. I guess it just wasn't like the amount of blood they put on there. It didn't seem like that would happen from
Right.
the cut they had. But I guess we have to just fill in the gaps because it's 1950, whatever.
Yeah, you filled it in.
There you go. I did.
Yeah, I thought- I was like, wait a minute.
I watched the movie once.
Well, you have seen this one multiple times. That's cheating,
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, there was the scene too where he's like trying to feed her the beer. He's like trying to get her drunk, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. Then you don't have to force yourself on them as much.
You don't have to kick the door down. That's expensive to
Right.
replace. That scene
Right.
was kind of interesting, though. Kind of. It was kind of like the worst date of all time because she pretty much told him that he was like a soulless piece of shit. And then, I don't know, he just kind of didn't go against it. And for some reason, they're in love with each other. Is it just because they're attractive
No,
people?
I mean, and
I think
again,
so.
you could also
Attractive
just,
people
this is
stick
just-
together.
It's a darker story. They're just both tortured, messed up people that suffered a lot of loss, and there they are together.
Hey, if you haven't looked into pigeons, you probably should. It really brightens your day.
Dude, he was literally instrument in killing her brother. How could they ever stay together? That was totally
Really, and
unbelievable.
what a prick to even think that he could do it. That's right. The whole time I was thinking, I'm like, this fucking son of a bitch thinks he can kill this woman's brother and then get in her pants. Fuck it.
Wait. No, he didn't. He thought
he
they were
did. He
just
was
gonna talk to
instrumental.
him.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he still worked
bullshit.
for... Yeah,
You're
dude.
working for the mob. You know
I
he's
know,
not
but
talking
You
to
think that was his
anybody.
first day on the job, dude? No
Right.
way.
Yeah,
Right. He's already
but,
been taking fights for 20 years, it
He
sounded
at
like.
least appeared surprised, maybe,
Yeah.
and he was just
I
kind
thought
of
you
a
were just
little
gonna
bit dull
talk
and
to
was thinking, yeah, but they wouldn't do that to Joey or whatever his name was.
Not Joey.
Not Joey. He's
Everyone
too
likes
good.
Joey. He even befriended that
Yeah.
homeless man who stays in the park and talks to people all the time.
See? He's a good fella.
Yeah, unlike the main character who just says, beat it. Yeah, leave me alone.
Oh, man. Now we're just really ragging on fucking
That's
Brando.
fine.
I love it. Like three fucking dudes that'll never be on screen in their lives.
Yeah.
I want to go.
We represent the rabble, the non-Hollywood, the people who want to watch movies to be entertained and to
Now, we're
think.
the assholes getting thrown off the roof. You kidding me?
I don't know. This movie is like not made to be entertaining, even though it kind of was back in the day. At least it was new or it was successful.
I don't know. Maybe, too, like when the longshoremen were more of a thing, maybe that was also something to be thought about. But
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it seems more like it exists now on these lists as like it was revolutionary in the way it was made, and that's about it. And like only can be appreciated by people who, I don't know, only read into things that make movies good at like written down on paper.
Rather
than
than
we're
necessarily-
like the
alive
story,
to
yeah.
see like the difference,
Yeah, but this list is
True.
made by people who are alive because it was. I mean, IMDb's been around for like
meant
20 years.
Yeah, but right, but I mean, yeah, and then maybe there's a legacy that carries on. I don't know.
Yeah.
we have quite a
legacy.
few films that are kind of like that in terms of their impact.
Scorsese pretty much said this was the best movie ever made. He didn't say that in so many words, but he said he compared it to Citizen Kane and then said this one was better because it was more relevant to more people. Like, who's a rich mogul? Nobody. Who's a longshoreman?
Sure,
Shit
yeah.
tons of people. And
Right.
like, it did the
or at
same
least
thing.
Who has like a job that's kind of killing them. They're not getting paid enough, and that's pretty common.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, that's relative. Yep.
Yeah. So he thinks that, and like the fact that it changed how movies are made and stuff, which apparently it did. And it's kind of hard to draw a line to that from our perspective because we don't watch every movie made afterwards and how it affected it and all that stuff. Like it's pretty hard to do, but I don't know. Would you guys agree that there's definitely some divide around the early 50s between acting, and a lot of people point to this movie and Streetcar
As the
Named
start
Desire.
of the newer stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
Brando, pretty much. Everyone points to Brando.
Yeah.
So, I would imagine that the popular consensus is right. I would think.
I'll go with him. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Did you notice speaking of Scorsese, did you notice the Leonardo DiCaprio moment in the car there with Charlie? It kind of had a couple moments there. I was like, look at Leo up here.
Really?
It was more like Leo copying Brando, but he had a couple moments where he was really like, he had the face going.
Was he rubbing his
where
chin?
He's got the face. He's got all the blood going to his face, like
You can really see his
he's
neck
sad.
veins.
Yeah, you can really see like he's sad.
He's
'cause
sticking his
pushing
chin
all the
out,
blood to his
trying to look
He's
more
also
like a
got,
man.
Leo's kind of got the eyebrow thing going that Brando has too
Right.
when he does just sort of the squinty thing.
Yep.
So, yeah,
maybe that's also it.
can
Yeah,
kinda
so there was
see
a couple
that.
moments I was like, hey, look at Leo. All right. And that died real quick.
Did you notice when Brando ate birdseed casually?
No.
No,
He had like a
I
hint.
assume it was a pigeon scene.
Yeah, well, good deduction
Good,
there, John.
good connection there, John.
Very good.
Good work.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
I think you nailed that one. You nailed that one.
He has a handful of birdseed and he's throwing it on the ground to the pigeons, and the last little bit he tosses into his mouth.
What are you doing, Terry?
Hey.
Terry, get that out of your mouth, Terry.
I'm poor. Come on.
That's not food grade for people, Terry.
It makes sense for my character. I'm poor.
Yeah, Brando.
And it's
Right.
nice and salty. I like
It's
it.
not going to sit well with you, buddy.
I didn't like the arugula at lunch. All right, let him eat let him eat the seed.
Yeah, he
let
wants
him
to
eat
eat the bird seed.
Let him
He's
eat
an
the
old man.
seed. Fuck him. Let's go. Roll again. Roll. Yeah.
I don't feel so good. I ate too much bird seed. There was when he's getting in the car with his brother, he says, like, we're going to 247, and he says the name of a street.
Where are we going,
And then Brando's
Charlie?
like, what did you just say? And he's like,
Yeah.
247. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, wait, what is this? What street address is this?
That's where he's going to go kill him.
Yeah, but how did
like
he know
the end
that?
of the dock.
Is it the
Because
murder
he
house?
said, he
Yeah,
said to him, make a decision before you get to this place.
He
That's
said
it.
that. Right.
That's all he got. Yeah.
But he didn't
so
question
before
it.
we get there, that's the place they're going to kill you. That's all he meant. Doesn't matter where it is. It could be XYZ. Could be any place. But that's the place we're going. And you need to make a decision before we get there because my boss over here is going to take you out. No, Charlie. That's all he meant. I guess the address is insignificant. I think it was just the idea of like, you're going to be killed right now.
Yeah. It's weird, though, because that's not what happened. Because he's in the car, and then he put the gun to him then.
Well, because he wasn't getting the drift, I don't think. He wasn't getting the...
Yeah.
Didn't
He's a
seem like
little
he was
aloof.
obviously getting it, right. Charlie had to do his little scene, too. What are you talking about? You're taking away from the actor here.
That's
Yeah.
true. What are we supposed to get out of the last scene of the movie?
They went back to work. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing like
That's it.
No. Somehow them going back to work. Somehow that robs the mob boss of his power. Somehow.
Because the union guy let them all back in.
But also, like,
Yeah.
none of the workers are good people. Like, zero of them, right? Because they don't help
Right.
it when this guy is like getting the shit beat out of him by a group of people,
Bro.
and like two of the
No,
guys are
sure.
like, maybe we should help, and he's like, no, there's bad guys right there.
We shouldn't. Yeah, we shouldn't help. Fuck that.
Yeah, but then like they shove the guy off the little pier there. The old guy does.
Yep.
Which, I mean,
Good-
that old
good
guy's
spot.
gonna die, right? I mean, he's definitely gonna die after pushing that guy off into the water.
Yeah, I feel like these people's power wouldn't just go away tomorrow.
No, you don't lose
Like,
your thirst to
Yeah.
murder
Right.
if you get
Yeah.
pushed into water.
And you still fucking smuggling in booze somewhere making money. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't the ending happened, and then the freaking roll down doors were rolling, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cheesy." It's like a curtain coming down. That kind
Yeah,
of
that's
sucks.
fair.
Yeah, and
Well
then
done,
credits.
Denny.
That's pretty much all I have on the movie itself. I got a lot of commentary stuff.
Right.
You guys,
All right.
commentary was kind of hard to listen to. It was too.
Was
Oh.
it?
It's not just one intellectual historian who wrote biographies
Oh,
about movies.
Jesus.
It was two in the same room talking to each
Oh,
other,
do you-
trying
do
to
you
one up each
contend?
other.
Do you
Did they have
contend?
any friendly disagreements about
Right.
which was
Do you
the better part?
concur, my friend?
Lots
Or do
of
you
hostile
contest?
disagreements with each other.
Really?
And they said some
Really?
They said some stuff that could be considered sexist, and they said some stuff that
Well, when I'm kicking down the door, I just push her to the ground.
they had a lot to say about female sexuality and things like that.
Oh,
It made me
man.
very uncomfortable listening.
How
to
old
them.
are these guys?
Really?
In their 70s?
Yeah, probably. They said like, they said multiple times. He's like, we should stop talking about this because we might make the feminist group upset. And I'm just like, oh, you guys fucking suck.
Oh, yeah. You know those femmies, always so
Wow.
touchy.
They're always so bitchy. Really, is what
Well,
they are.
no, they're not
Yeah.
touchy. Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Gotta love those old world fucks. When as soon as they're out the door, it'll be much better.
Yep. So they filmed it all on location in Hoboken in New York, which was
Nice.
pretty apparent. There were
Yeah.
only 3 scenes in the movie that weren't shot there. The one was the courthouse scene. One was the scene where I didn't recognize this anyways. There was a scene where they're watching the court proceedings happen on television. And like some fat guy sitting in a chair, you can't even see his face. And his little waiter shuts the TV off. Do you even remember that scene?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, probably because it came out of nowhere. Didn't explain who the character was, but who that was supposed to be the mob boss who was in charge of the Lee Cobb character,
Oh,
who was the main, who was the guy who got shoved into the water.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
okay.
so it's supposed to be like, not only does it end here, there's like people above him who are even more rich than this guy. That like you can see him when he shuts the TV off. He's like, all right, that guy's out.
Oh, right. And he walks away. He's like, if he calls him out.
Yeah, if he calls
Yeah,
him out.
I remember
So
that.
they
I
pretty
remember
much
that.
just like cutting him off. Right. So that's like a big part of the movie. But that was not shot on location. And then the other one was the famous taxi cab scene was not shot on location. That was shot in studio. And the producer, Sam Spiegel, who's supposed to be like one of the best producers ever, he's in a lot of good movies. He fucked up a lot during this movie. He said that he had more money coming in from producing than he actually did. So some people went without pay and they ended up just like leaving the production when this movie was being filmed.
Damn.
He also forgot to reserve or buy or something. He didn't get a rear projector, and they were planning on using a rear projector for that scene, but they didn't have it day of. And they only had 36 days to shoot this film. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I didn't really the first time, but there were window shades in the back of that car, on the back window.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
John, did you notice?
Mm-mm.
It's weird when someone points it out, and you're like, oh yeah, I've never seen a car with like window shades on them. It's just like the wood slats that like when you
Right.
twist it, it bends. They just
Right.
rested
Huh.
window shades in the back of the car window.
Huh.
So you
Really?
couldn't see out the
Weird.
back. Yeah.
Right.
So they thought it was going to suck, but now it's considered like,
No one noticed.
yeah, no one noticed. Shooting on location during the wintertime was a bad idea. People left not only because not getting paid, but it was freezing cold all the time. So that sucked. People got sick.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of breath when people are talking and things like that.
That sucks.
This movie got away with it actually because unions in Hollywood and in the United States didn't want to be associated with this movie because of the cold. They didn't want their union workers to have to deal with the cold. So they didn't require them to work through the extras union. So they were allowed to hire actual dock workers as the extras
Huh.
because of
That's a
that
good
loophole.
idea, though,
That's
right?
sort
Hey,
of
they're used to
ironic.
it.
Yeah.
They're already cold.
Yeah,
They look the part.
add some realism there. Did you guys notice the scene where they were flirting in like the children's playground? Brando and the girl there. The scene where they're flirting in the children's playground. She drops her glove by accident and he picks it up and puts it on his hand. And then towards the end of the scene, she pulls it off his hand as they're talking. Did you guys recognize that?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
So the people who like this movie, I think that's one of the best parts of the movie.
Why? 'Cause it was
Just
so
put that out there.
natural.
So
I
natural.
guess so, yeah.
Apparently it
Yeah.
happened during the practicing for filming that scene, and it happened by accident, and Brando just went with it, and the director liked it so much that he just, told him to keep it in there. So
I mean, that's cool.
take a guess. Who do you think was originally cast to play the role that Brando ends up playing?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes! TC on the
Damn.
first guess.
Knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew
Leo's
it.
father.
Who was it?
Any
No
guesses,
idea.
John?
No, I know. I think Frank Sinatra
There you go.
was going to be the priest, right?
No, he was going to be the Terry
Was he
Malloy.
going to be the
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Baby
but
blue eyes.
then I think they were offering him the role of the priest, maybe, or he thought he could get that one too, but he couldn't because of Carl was there. But
Yeah.
Because the nose was too,
Yeah.
symmetrical.
He didn't
so
have a
it'd be
great farm.
Interesting what would happen to the film if it was Sinatra instead of Brando, because I'm sure Sinatra was probably more of the, and I'm just guessing he was more of the classical, like he's gonna, be there and he's not gonna whine at all. No whining from Sinatra.
No.
No, I'd be singing the whole time.
Maybe.
And he's from that part of New York, so he would have been able to do the voices accurately, I
True.
guess. But
Maybe, yeah. But no singing.
But also, so like he was brought on because Brando was saying no to the script. They actually hid a piece of paper in the script to see if he opened it, and he sent it back without it being opened. So he didn't even read it. He just didn't want to do it. Mostly because this director is an asshole. We can get into that shortly.
Oh, that's good.
But so they eventually tricked him. So Frank Sinatra was on there. They were fitting him for costumes and stuff, but they filmed with Paul Newman a little featurette or like a fake scene. They pretty much made a fake scene to get Brando to be jealous to come and be on the movie, and it worked.
That is so pathetic. I can't even begin.
Yep. And Brando, dude, I don't know. We can get to Brando. He's in a lot of these movies. He's a fucking weirdo, man. He's a weird dude who needs like special provisions. Like for this movie, in his contract, it was written in that he was allowed to leave by 4:00 every single day, because he went to psychotherapy at the time.
Oh, okay.
Due to his mother dying recently. But it's kind of, he does that kind of stuff all the time. Like where he's a special case. Like he only works for a certain period of time for the most amount of money because he's a huge fucking star. And he's great most of the time. But yeah, whatever. So that's his deal. The scene in the taxi cab was actually the other guy who plays his brother Charlie. All the close-ups of that were just him by himself.
Oh,
Brando left for the day.
Yeah.
And he was pissed about it forever. He wrote like a biography, and he hates Brando because he thinks he's an asshole for leaving during that scene.
Wow.
Which, I don't know, sure. Yeah, the director smacked actors to get reactions if he wasn't getting reactions out of people.
What, he slapped him?
Slapped him in the face. Multiple people. He didn't discriminate. Men, women, slap him. You're not pissed off enough. I'm slapping you.
Don't worry. I don't
really
discriminate.
Mostly to make, if he wanted them to be angry, he would hit them.
He would hit them. Yeah, if he wanted to be upset, he would hit them. Sometimes he would like start fights within the crew and cast, or mostly the actors and like the crew and things like that. So some people in the crew didn't like the actors and they knew that. So then he would put the crew on duty to be like close to them. So they were like physically agitated to try to get more of a reaction out of them. That sort of stuff.
God damn, I would not want to be on that fucking set.
Blacklist. John, what do you know about the Blacklist?
A little bit. So this was the idea was that this is during the Red Scare when the Russians had started to develop nuclear weapons, and it was the Cold War, and we were World War II was over, and Russia was now our new enemy, and so we were scared by them. And so there was a number of people that sort of took this kind of fear and made political power out of it. But so there was, what is it called? The House, the Un-American Activities Committee, the House Un-American Activities Committee. So Kazan was pressured to name names of 8 actors that he'd been members with him when he was part of the Communist Party in a group theater back in the early 50s. And he elected to name names. Now, he said he was put under no pressure. However, there's other reports that the head of 20th Century Fox at the time had told him that he would not be able to publish his next film that he really loved, Viva Zapata, Viva Zapata, that his film would not come out unless he confessed and named names to the ethics committee. So he named people's names. People's who were named it wasn't like the House people didn't know these names already, but he then was looked pretty unfavorably upon because he ratted out people. And he took out an advertisement in the New York Times a little bit later. So on April 12th of 1952. So I'm sorry. So when he testified, it was 52. So it was even earlier than that he was in the Communist Party for a small amount of time. And I looked up that statement, and it's just, I don't know, I could read it, but it really doesn't say much specifically. It just talks about how that communism is bad, and anybody who participates in it's kind of like a cult-like thing, and you shouldn't do it, and it's against America, and it's bad. So it's just very strange, and people at the time had very strong feelings against him, but Hollywood certainly was not going to run afoul of the government, and was very happy, like when On the Waterfront came out to give it all kinds of Oscars and whatnot. And some people think that On the Waterfront, where he said, the lines, I'm glad I did what I did to you, and I'd do it again, that he's like, you can see On the Waterfront as being like this idea that the Communist Party is like the mob, and that, the lead character,
he's heroic.
Squealing on the mob is heroic.
This movie's teaching you that squealing is good. Squealing is good and is justified.
And, being an informant is good when there are crimes and criminals.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people falsely accused during this blacklisting period, and it ruined people's careers and lives because of hearsay and assholes like this guy who's just like, he knows he's going to get off scot-free. He convinced himself that he's going to do something right, and he just fucked over people that some might have deserved it, some definitely didn't.
Yeah.
And now it's tough because there's I've read a lot about this topic, like for past movies, and there's not a lot of information. It depends. Really, you have to go like one side or the other. They don't say individual people what they actually believe. They just say like what they were accused of and when they came back to Hollywood after the blacklisting period was over.
Right.
What good would that have done anyway?
What do you mean?
I mean, it was just a front to make Hollywood look good to the government.
Yeah, well, it's
like
could
a
be
PR move.
Well, no, but you want to make some kind of appeasement to these things. When you have an outcry like this and you have like the public stirred up, then too, you want to be careful. You need to protect your industry. So it's like you can think of like the devil worshiping crap with music for a while, and that was a big scare. And then there were there were hearings and whatnot. The industry sits up and takes notice because they don't want they don't want the public turning against them. And the same thing with Hollywood. You wouldn't want you certainly want to take stand up for independence and freedom and whatever, but you also don't want to hurt your bottom line. And if there was enough of a red scare at the time where the people in the public were starting to listen, and then they could start labeling Hollywood as commies, a bunch of commies, then that's obviously very worrying to them.
Or it's awesome because it sells more tickets.
Well, fair.
Yeah. And this movie cost just under $1 million, and it made $10 million. So it made tenfold what it was invested.
He is a contender, folks.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. Won 8 Oscars, which was tied for the most Oscars ever won by a single film at the time.
Wow.
Made a couple careers, changed the path of movies.
Yep.
So
yes. I mean, you have to. So, we've had this continuing discussion about separating the person from their work and whether and to what extent you can do that. And certainly, you can't argue that. You can't say that Kazan didn't change American cinema.
No, because that
had a huge impact on it, right? And not just cinema, but the way acting, how acting was done. He had a huge influence on that. He was, he played a part in not just Brando, but James Dean. Clearly, he had an impact. Clearly, he definitely was a director. I mean, he really had a vision for what he wanted his films to be.
This man was a man. He lived. He was alive. We're going to go backwards here.
He slapped faces. He
had a
made
first
people
name and a
pissed.
last name.
He really got it going.
Screw you, Daddy, I'm trying.
Yeah.
You're making some good points there, John. That you're just like, he was a man.
He was
alive.
a dude. He was a guy. He did things. He showed up. He went home.
He did that.
Yeah,
Clearly, he was there.
I heard he was very gassy. It's just me, though. I don't know.
Not a fact, unlike the fact that he was a man. The gassy part's hearsay. But
and you figure when you have a huge nose, it smells way worse. So,
only if it's
Father,
free.
My apologies. It's a little bit rough. We had arugula for lunch. I don't know what to say.
Except for Brando, he didn't like that. But the bird seed has caused other problems.
Right. Flatulence.
He's now got little trees growing in his belly. Charlton Heston is on the side of Kazan. So
sure,
I'm just gonna leave that there. Just if you want to be on Charlton Heston's side, go ahead. Like Kazan. I don't know. Well,
and I think that, you can read, there are some conservative organizations that applaud this sort of thing. And they're starting to use it now. It's again, we have all the awful Islamophobia that's going on, but now certainly the word socialist is being thrown around quite a bit.
That's
we don't
true.
have this big red scare kind of thing that we did with the communists anymore, because now that they're a dictatorship, and certainly arguably the Republicans are now pretty happy with them. But I don't know. I mean, we don't have we've had the Islam, the nations of Islam, those kind of boogeymen for a while now, and that's been used in terms of drumming up I don't know, getting people to be scared and to justify terrible things. So
true. If you want to read up about, there's a lot. This is kind of based on true stories. The main character is based on a true guy, like a real person. The mob boss is based on real people. Like all those people have kind of loose counterparts in the real world. So more people dying. They didn't actually shut down the mobs for a long time. They actually voted. They had a democratic vote to see if the mob organization that was running it currently should stay, or like a new group should come in. And the mob organization votes won. Probably because they were leaning on a lot of people and threatening them and all that stuff.
Right.
But
hey, you want your business to run? Then shut the fuck up, huh? Yeah.
They're like, see, we win. Everyone wants us, all right? Everyone keep quiet.
Yeah, I mean, shit, that was going on in the 90s in Rhode Island, right?
Well, he was a straight up mobster, wasn't he? Rhode Island?
Mayor?
Providence?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what I mean. Like, they're still going on. And it's not as of like the last 20 years. They still live.
Yeah. So that's always nice. But, all right, and then 2 fun pieces of trivia. This one's not fun. I'll do an unfun one and then a fun one. Brando, when seeing his performance in the full film, he wrote this quote in his autobiography. On the day Kazan showed me the complete picture, I was so depressed by my performance, I got up and left the screening room. I thought it was a huge failure and walked out without a word to him. I was simply embarrassed for myself.
Wow.
Oof. Which is kind of weird because now everyone's saying it's the best performance ever.
Well, you know how things go, right? You know,
Brando must have been rough.
He's a rough go.
Poor guy. I mean, he seems to have been,
It's just always in his head.
On himself, too.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing's ever good enough.
Martin Scorsese hasn't driven since 1983.
Sweet.
He has a driver. Good for him.
I mean, I would. Imagine all the shit you can get done while you're sitting in LA traffic. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Write some scripts.
Easy.
Call
read
Leo.
'em.
Call
At
Leo.
least read them.
Yeah. See what house party Leo has coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever driven around in LA, but it's fucking miserable.
I've heard.
Well, I mean, you figure if it's 7 miles away, you might as well be like, in Massachusetts. So I always go back to Massachusetts. I'm like, what would it be in Massachusetts, right? If it's fucking 7 to 10 miles away, you might as well be going to fucking Connecticut.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's literally, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the roads.
That's not good.
I mean, a driver makes sense for a guy like that. First, you can drink.
Yeah.
That's what I would have liked. And then 2, you can do other things. So, makes sense.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I got for this movie, guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we still waited for a fucking hour anyway.
We did. Hey, guys, guess what next episode is?
What?
It is the halfway point of the podcast.
Oh, and is it from a 1950 fucking
1926,
year?
Charlie Chaplin, Buster
Here we
Keaton.
go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Halfway.
No, it
what
is not.
2006. Pan's Labyrinth.
All right.
Yep.
You're all excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen this one, TC?
No.
Oh, really?
Okay. So I should be excited because
You
guys
should be.
seem excited.
I'm going to try to read the synopsis, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to screw it up in the first 3 words. In the Fanangist Spain of 1944, the bookish stepdaughter of a sadistic army officer escapes into an eerie but captivating fantasy world. Phalangist?
Phalangist.
Stay tuned next week to learn what that means.
We're going to learn a word.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So,
Say it with me now, kids.
We'll watch that.
Phalangist. What?
Did you learn it? Did you figure it out?
Did you do it?
Yeah.
I didn't want to learn phalangist.
All right, we're going to have Timmy.
All right.
What does Timmy think about fantasy movies?
Oh, fuck you, Jenny. I got no more energy left.
No more. You got a couple more years to go here, Timmy. You're screwed.
All right, fuck off then. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Yes.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. I could have been a contender. Fuck you.
Yeah, Timmy, you had it all.
Yeah.
You had it
I
all
did.
except your brother.
I
It was
did.
his brother, wasn't it?
It's the fucking bird seed, I'm telling you.
It's all the bird seed's fault.
It was you, Birdseed. All along, it was you, Birdseed.
The fucking pigeons, I'll tell you. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rate and
Next week,
subscribe,
guys.
do all that other shit,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Press the buttons.
Top 250.
Is this
film
top
probably-
250?
Jesus.
You're really just letting it go on that one.
I'm gonna state tonight, guys. Woo.
It's all right. A lot of
No.
stress.
Top 250. What about you guys?
No.
Probably. No, I don't think so.
right. Actually,
that's
no,
three
wait.
no's.
Yes, I'm gonna go yes.
No. Oh, he's going
You go
yes.
yes.
Look
I'm gonna
at
go
this
yes.
fucking
It's gotta
guy.
be.
This
I think
fucking
you understand.
gabagool.
If this movie is like as influential as every single person states it is, then it's gotta be. Gotta
There
be.
you
I'm going to
go.
put it on the list because everyone else
There you
says
go.
it's good.
Exactly.
Giving into the pressure.
Thanks. See, is that what I sound
Name
like?
it.
Yeah,
names.
it's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh,
Right
fuck.
Well, everybody, I'm going to do it because it sounds good. That's it.
Do I really talk that fast? Oh, God.
Oh my God. Okay, man. It's on the list. I'm sorry.
there. I don't know where I was coming from. I'm not
I don't know
yeah.
either.
Out of my mind. What are you going to do? All right,
I'm
boys.
embarrassed for myself and for TC. All right, well, let's end it on that note. Might as well.
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Embarrassment.
Yeah.
Good
Bye.
All right, later.
Bye.
Stop 'em. you.